Hi, you guys. Good evening. Nice to see you all. Can you turn on your cameras, please? Don't forget to turn on your cameras. And just give me 2 seconds. Hi, guys. Good evening. Okay, just give me 2 seconds really quick. I need to.
Hi, teacher.
Hi. Nice to see you all. Da, 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 da. And you guys are just Hi, guys. Can just go in and turn on your cameras and we'll start the class in just a bit.
Hi.
Hi, guys. Okay. Ahora sí. Nice to see you guys. Hi, everyone. And now we're going to start the class. It's going to be the same dynamic as last time. La misma dinámica de la otra vez. Les voy a compartir el texto. Les voy a dar cierto tiempo para leerlo. And then we're going to go over the questions together. Okay? So first, just give me a second. Okay. The text for today is 5 paragraphs, but they're kind of long. So we're going to take about 6 minutes to read the whole text. Okay. Just give me 2 seconds. I want to share again. No sé qué está pasando con. You guys can all hear me. ¿Me escuchan bien? ¿Ven la pantalla? Ahora todo. Okay.
Yes.
Let's set this for 7 minutes then. Aproximadamente 7 minutos nos vamos a tomar para leer todo esto. Vamos a hacerlo más chiquito. Okay. No, 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 no. I'm gonna put this down a little bit lower. You can't see them. Okay, the title for today's text is Origins of Surfing. Who wants to tell me what you guys think the text is going to be about? ¿De qué va a hablar el texto? ¿Alguien?
Maybe how the surf begins and all the origins of it.
Okay. Everyone knows what surf is, right? Todos saben lo que es surfear. Yes? Okay, yeah, everyone. So yeah, it's going to talk about that. Va a hablar de how it all started, the history of surfing. So now we're going to have the text. I'm going to send it to you guys in the chat. Sorry, guys, I gotta see. Okay. Okay. Just your camera and your audio, Natalia, or puedes probar con solo el audio, Natalia. Tal vez igual si podemos escucharte, está bien. Tal vez no la cámara, pero sí que te escuchemos.
Maybe the audio, yes.
Okay, so if you can do just
Okay.
audio, that's good. The rest of you
Okay.
guys, please have your cameras on. And les estoy mandando. Ay, sorry. Les estoy mandando el texto. If you want, you can read it on your devices. If you want, you can read it here en la pantalla. So ahora vamos a empezar a leer y nos vamos a tomar 7 minutitos para toda la lectura. It's down and okay, here we go. I'm going to scroll down a bit. If you guys are reading from the screen, voy a bajar un poco. We're gonna bajar un poco más and scroll down. Vamos a bajar un poco más. Ay, sorry. Here. Okay, we still have about 3 minutes on the clock. Is everyone finished reading or most of you guys finished reading? No? Okay, we're gonna wait a little longer. Okay, we're down to 2 minutes. Everyone done? Yes? Ahora sí?
Yes,
¿Alguien
teacher.
que no haya terminado de leer?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, everyone's done. So we're gonna stop this. And now we can go on to answer the questions. So the first question, let's see who's here. Vanessa, can you read the first question and options, please?
Okay, the author discusses colonization in paragraph 1 in order to give a chronology of when surfing spread to individual islands, illustrate the global European dominance of the time, juxtapose Western customs with the customs of the islanders, provide a reason for the regional expansion of surfing's influence.
Okay, which one do you think it is?
Maybe the second one, illustrate the global European dominance of the time.
Okay, so in general, yeah, the word colonization means, you know, when another culture takes over a culture. So Europe did that a lot everywhere. So por eso la palabra colonización nos late Europa. But here it's used for not that purpose. Menciona la colonización, pero no es la idea principal del párrafo. Why else? Why would it mention colonization? ¿Alguien más?
Maybe the fourth option, provide a reason for the regional expansion.
Yeah, I like that one too, because we're talking about locations here. ¿Dónde se originado? Where does it take place? In Fiji and Tahiti and Hawaii, and later the colonization
Yeah,
of the
maybe because they are using the word spread.
Exactly. We're talking about
Maybe.
locations and how it's spread in the world. So I also agree with this one. Does anyone think differently? Does anyone have any other opinion? So we're gonna go with that one. I also think it's that one. Again, sorry as always for the connection. And yes, the correct answer was to provide a reason for the regional expansion. Always look for clue words that match with the question and the answer. The next one. Janet, could you read this question and the options, please?
Okay. Which of the following best express the essential information in the highlighted sentences in paragraph 2? Incorrect answer choices change the meaning in important ways or leave out essential information. Option A, surfing ability once was used to determine individual social classes in Hawaii culture. Option B, Hawaii was a natural leader in surfing's rise since the activity bore deep significance in the traditional social class system. And the third, the education of royalty in traditional Hawaiian culture depend on surfer performance. And then the people of Hawaii rightly expected to be at the center of surfing culture as the royalty had decided its importance.
Okay, so here we have the sentence, primero la que le va antes, ¿no? As surfing evolved into a sport, the Hawaiian Islanders became its epicenter. This is unsurprising as surfing progress had long been a determiner of status for royal and common classes alike within ancient Hawaiian culture. So, which one of these do you think it is? ¿Cuál expresa la misma idea que esta oración?
Maybe the second one.
Okay. Why do you think so? ¿Qué te da a entender eso?
Because it's talking about why Hawaii was this natural leader in surfing's rise. And it talks about also the classes and the status that royalty had and how it was connected to the surfing and the surfboards prowess.
Okay, so yeah, y siempre palabras clave que sean similar, right? Or similar ideas. We have this is unsurprising, so es algo muy natural, es muy normal. And here reforzamos esa idea, Hawaii was a natural leader in surfing's rise. Da, 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 y explica lo mismo por la tradición, because it was traditional and in their culture. So I'm also going to go with this one, or does anyone else think differently? ¿Podría ser algún otro?
Sure, I think that is the first answer, because I speak about the how surfing determine the social classes.
Mm-hmm. So all of them like have the same ideas. Todos nos hablan de la clase social, todos nos hablan, no, aquí la realeza, aquí the royalty had decided. They all include royalty and classes. Y la oración habla de clases, de realeza, de cultura. Pero es siempre importante buscar palabras o ideas que sean muy hermanas, ¿no? Muy similares. Porque si bien, like, yes, lo menciona, pero deja incompleta la información. Yeah, this is true. It is true, but it's not the whole idea. La idea general es que, oh, wow, no es sorpresa that Hawaiian people were really good at this, porque es parte de su cultura. Entonces,
I
eso.
think the first one is really confused. I would choose also the first one, but the word that doesn't meet is when they say surfing ability once, when they put once, it really changed the meaning, you know? It's like when you found this kind of words like always or once or something that determine kind of time, the timeline. It's like you have to be very careful of choosing that because it changed a lot. It is said or it means like it's happening only one time.
That's a good, buena pauta para preguntas, porque a veces son capciosas, así they're asking for something very general, pero tus opciones te dan cosas muy específicas, o si no te piden algo muy específico y la respuesta es general y le falta información, which is what's happening here, yes, with words like always, once, porque muy general. Pero en este caso sí tiene sentido porque once was used, que alguna vez fue usado, que no es algo vigente, ¿no? It's not now that surfing determines your social class. It was before, so sí era que antes, it once was used. Here no es por eso, no es una generalización, pero sí it doesn't have the complete information. Palabras hermanitas, natural leader, idea hermanita, they were always good at this because it's in their culture. So I'm gonna go with the second one too. Wow. Ahora sí. And yes, that is the correct answer because tenemos ideas hermanitas. Next question. Okay, so also about paragraph 2. Let's see. Natalia, can you read the question and the options, please?
Yes, teacher. Based on paragraph 2, which of the following can be inferred about ancient Hawaiians? They attempt to build boards from away types of trees. Their social order was a community of relative equals. They only crafted boards during fishing season, and their spirituality was an integral part of the surfing culture.
Okay, so which one do you think it is? This is the second paragraph.
I think it's the first choice. They attempted to build boards of many type of trees.
Okay, why do you think so?
It says something like that in the context about how they use this type of boards to take their fishing
Mhm.
during the day.
They do mention that they made it out of different types of trees, but not había motivo. There was a reason that they made it from different trees. Here we say that the higher classes had a different type of surfboard made from one type of tree that was lightweight, buoyant from the willy tree. And other people, not royals or de clase menor, digamos, had shorter boards made from a different tree, from the koa tree. So it's not that they attempted, igual palabras clave siempre que van a precisar mucho la interpretación. That means they tried y que tal vez no les fue bien or that for whatever reason they just tried different types of wood, pero es que no intentaron, sino que tenían diferentes tipos de madera for different classes. So I don't think it's this one. Anyone else? Otra opción?
I think it's the last one because it's talking about how they made like sacrifices for their gods and why they made this and use this kind of woods to build their surfboards.
Yeah, in general, when we're talking about inferring, es información que no te dice ahí en el texto. You have to kind of leer o interpretarla, right? So if there are things que nos dicen las opciones, they're like tal cual nos dice el texto, it's not that one, porque aunque esté la información, no es algo que tenemos que inferir. If it gives us wrong information, pues sí, obviamente también está mal. Pero inferir es algo que no está en el texto. En ningún momento nos dicen así textual, su espiritualidad era una parte íntegra de su cultura. But the whole paragraph talks about their social class, about why some people had some boards and why other people had different boards, how it, it was very representative of different parts of their culture. So I'm also going to go with that one. We can infer that spirituality was important.
Miss also talks about rituals, so you can like match rituals with the spirituality. Yeah, I agree with the last one too.
Yeah, a lot of, ponte, como decía Alejandro, we do mention the materials, we do mention how they're made, pero si se fijan en todas las oraciones, surfing was practiced as the kapu system of old Hawaii, a strict code of conduct, surfboards for the ruling class, so igual estamos hablando de clase, aun cuando estamos hablando de cómo se hacen las tablas, igual. Los rituales, como decía Melissa, están ahí. Once the wood had been selected, a ceremonial fish, seguimos hablando de cosas culturales. Subsequently, the tree was cut down, seguimos hablando de cosas culturales. So every sentence in this is about spirituality. So sí, segundo párrafo es muy sobre espiritualidad. Weimar, can you read the next question and options, please?
The word conventions in paragraph 2 is closest in meaning to practices, materials, beliefs, options.
Which do you think?
Materials?
Okay, why do you think so?
I remember in some part of the paragraph it says like different classes have different materials or something like that.
Yeah, before, justo antes de esto, we're talking about que esto del árbol, the koa tree, this from the willy willy tree, whatever. But here, we're not really talking about materials. Anyone else piensa que podría ser algo diferente?
Practices.
Practices, I think any of maybe practices or beliefs could be. Porque si bien aquí hablamos de material, la idea general sigue siendo cómo se portaban las clases. La clase alta hacia esto, la clase menos alta hacia esto. So convenciones, like in Spanish, kind of refers to ideas or cosas que hacía la cultura. It could be practices, it could be opinions, options, perdón, beliefs, practices or beliefs. Pero como hablan de rituales, más de
Teacher,
creencias.
for me is practices.
I agree, because hablamos de prácticas, ¿no? De cosas culturales, pero de cosas, no ideas, sino cosas que hacían. Practices. So I'm also going to go with that. Luckily, a lot of words, así, digamos, palabras grandes, palabras muy académicas, sound similar in Spanish and in English. So when you come across a difficult word or a new word, you can kind of be like, esta raíz es similar en español, so it could mean that. So convenciones, igual, conventions, convenciones. And yes, the correct answer is practices. The next one, Alejandro, can you read the question and options, please?
Okay. The author's description of ancient Hawaiian softboards in paragraph 2 mentions all the following except the social relevance of a board size, the class status of the best board craftsman, and the practical value of different building materials, the materials used to color the raw wood on the board.
Okay, so we have to pick the one que no mencionan en el texto. Which one is that?
I remember, I think it will be
Vamos a bajar un poco más igual. Which one do you think?
The materials used to color the robot on the board. I don't think I have seen some part of that.
It was more at the end. Estaba, no lo
Mm.
vimos cuando revisamos ahorita, pero sí está al final. That they talk about painting with different roots or different plants. So yeah, they do talk about that. Anyone else have another opinion on what it could be, maybe? Okay, let's see them one by one. Do they talk about the societal relevance of a board size? If it was important for it to be big or small, or do they mention that? Yeah, they have a whole part, you know, the ruling class had big surfboards, the lower class had small surfboards, so they do mention que tenía relevancia social. The class status of the best board craftsman. Do they mention this at all in any place?
If I'm not sure, it's not mentioned. It just mentions the status of the persons who use your
Mhm.
surfboards, not the persons who made them.
Exacto. So I think it's that one because we have the other ones. We have the different building materials, se explica por qué sirven. We have the materials used to color the wood al final. It never says what social status the people who make the boards have. So I agree with Vanessa. Igual palabra clave era craftsman. En ningún momento ha dicho craftsman, or it doesn't talk about the people who make them. So esa era la palabra clave. Okay, next. ¿Quién no ha leído aún? Melissa, I think you haven't answered yet. So can you read the question and options, please?
Okay, the word ideologies in paragraph 3 is closest in meaning to upbringings, leaders, superstitions, or principles.
Okay, and which one do you think it is?
Mm,
Who are we talking about? The ideologías de quién? We're talking about when the Europeans began to, visit the islands.
mm. Maybe the first one, upbringings.
Okay, so igual, leaders, not really, ¿no? Porque no estamos hablando de ningún líder en específico. Superstitions, not really also, because an ideology is something a little bigger, right? It could be upbringing, porque viene con la cultura, una ideología, the upbringing of the European culture. But I'm going to go more with principles, porque estamos hablando de las ideas, los principios que ellos han puesto on surfing in Hawaiian culture. So es por esos principios de que, ay, no sé, surfear es malo, whatever, that the Europeans restricted it more. So I'm going to go with principles. Does anyone else think differently? ¿Están de acuerdo?
Yeah, I think it's principles too.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to go with that one. And yes, the correct answer is principles. Next question. Oshin, you're here, right? Si estás aquí, ahí estás. Can you read the question and options, please?
Okay. According to paragraph 3, missionaries attempted to ban surfing because they viewed the pastime as unproductive pleasure seeking,
Pleasure seeking.
pleasure seeking. They were frustrated by their inability to serve successfully. They found that practice delayed further colonizations. They felt the activity was too psychology perilous.
Physically. No olviden que la PH en inglés hace como la F. So it's physically perilous. Qué pretenciosos con la palabra perilous. Pero bueno, perilous means dangerous. Una forma muy rebuscada de decir peligroso. What do you think it is, though? Here we have paragraph 3.
I think the letter B or C.
So they were frustrated by their inability to serve, or they found that practice delayed further colonization. Why do you think that?
Because they talk about the strong opposition. I think no sé.
Okay. So let's see, igual palabras hermanitas clave siempre. Aquí nos dice por qué, why they banned it. Caused them to frown upon the Hawaiian reverence for surfing, which they viewed, y aquí nos dicen por qué, they viewed as flippant or even self-indulgent. So what does this mean? ¿Qué significa esta oración? Which they viewed as flippant or even self-indulgent.
Flippant is like no sense, that's something that has no sense or something no importance, maybe. And self-indulgent, I'm confused because indulgent is like causing damage. Or I don't know, but I can get the first or the fourth one, but I would choose the first one. It's like better.
Yes. Yeah, I agree, porque palabras hermanitas. Unproductive pleasure seeking. To indulge in English es como que to really así gozar un placer. Self-indulge significa, no sé, voy a comerme mis 3 litros de helado porque me da la gana de comerme mis 3 litros de helado. That's just to indulge in tus propios placeres egoístas. I don't know. So something like that. So ahí está, palabras hermanitas. Self-indulgent, unproductive pleasure, flippant, igual, unproductive. En lo demás no menciona. They weren't frustrated by their inability, que probablemente sí. No menciona la colonización, no mencionan que era peligroso, arriesgado. Aquí nos dice por qué y palabras hermanitas. So, this one. This one was hard because it really had like flippant and self-indulgent are really demanding vocabulary words. Así que siempre contexto, ¿no? Si no saben una palabra, separan en pedacitos y si no se puede así, lean el contexto. Yes, it was the right answer. And moving on to paragraph 4. Who hasn't read yet? Rosa, I don't think you've read yet. Can you read the question and the options, please?
Yes, teacher. According to the paragraph 4, which of the following can be inferred about world famous software?
Rosa, te escuchamos un poco entrecortado. No sé si es tu micrófono.
20,
Ay, bueno, te escuchamos un poco entrecortados, so por cuestiones de tu micrófono, I'm going to ask someone else to read this question, please.
Okay,
Um,
teacher.
okay, yeah, sorry, es como que no se escucha muy claro.
Yes. All read all the question.
Could it be perhaps que Natalia, could you read this question? Vamos a probar con alguien. Natalia, are you there?
Yes, teacher, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
According to the paragraph 4, which of the following can be inferred about surfing revive? Option A, it resulted from a friendship between world famous surfers. It became
Feasible.
feasible to the decline in missionaries. It occurred because surfing was an Olympic event in 1912, and Californian culture contribute. California culture contribute to the increasing international popularity.
All right. So which one do you think it is? It gives several reasons. It does mention, como les decía, estas cosas están todas en el texto. But which do you think is the main reason? ¿O cuál es como que la idea que más resalta de todo el párrafo?
I think the last one, well, the last option, Californian culture contributed to the increasing international popularity.
Mhm. Yeah, it really grew in California. Y sí lo menciona. It does mention it. But I think creo que es más como una idea que lo complementa.
Miss, I don't know, but I think it's A, the first one.
Mhm. This one's kind of hard because it could be really any of them. Como les digo, toda esa información está en el texto. Pero what really made it blow up, que lo hizo realmente volver a nacer el surf, I'm gonna go for maybe California. I'm also between the first and the last one. Let's say Californian culture contributed, porque si bien solo lo menciona, it's kind of where it really started to take off, donde realmente empezó a crecer de nuevo el surf. Well, we were both wrong. The correct answer is it became feasible due to decline in missionaries. Again, this information is here. But I personally don't think it's the main idea of the paragraph. Pero bueno, veamos la explicación de por qué es eso. Yes, why it became popular. B is the correct answer because it matches the sentence. By that point, the number of missionaries on the Hawaiian Islands had declined greatly. So the reason for this is that the main reason for not surfing was the missionaries prohibited it, right? No les dejaban surfear los misioneros. So, como que la solución a eso y por qué ha resurgido es que las misiones han declinado. But I really don't feel it's the main sentence or the main idea, pero bueno, let's go with that logic. Okay, these ones are the ones donde tienen que poner una oración en una parte del texto. So this is the paragraph we're going to put it in. Aquí está. Alejandro, could you read the sentence, please?
Look at the four squares and indicate where the following sentences could be added to the passage. However, those it attached did not endeavor to keep their pastime to themselves.
Those it attracted. ¿A quienes atrajo?
Those it attracted, sorry.
We have to put this en alguno de estos 4 puntos. Where do you think it fits?
I think in part B, that say the surfing was no longer secret ritual, but rather to sport to thrill skaters.
Okay, why would it go here?
Because I don't know, it's like telling you that it can take them for themselves to this pastime. That was
Here we have a palabra conectora que nos dice que una idea contraria. However, right? So tiene que chocar con la idea anterior. What's the sentence before this? Habla del diseño de las tablas, del movimiento, which brought about revolutions as wave riding techniques. So idea antes habla de diseño de tablas. Siguiente idea habla de
pastime.
How people shared this pastime, right? Did not keep it to themselves. No se lo guardaron. So han ido a surfear y han dicho, wow, qué divertido es esto, todos vayan a surfear. No creo que contradigan estas ideas, esta con la anterior. So I don't think it's...
I think maybe it's the next.
Yes. The next one. So here we have la oración que viene antes. It was no longer a sacred ritual, but rather a sport attractive to thrill seekers. So era atractivo para attract, igual palabras claves. It attracted, sport attractive. Atraía gente, however, idea contraria, did not endeavor to keep their pastime to themselves. Entonces,
yeah, has much more sense.
The correct answer is C. Siempre que haya estos de introducir una oración, fíjense si hay un conector y eso les va a facilitar la vida un montón. Okay, now for this one, we have to make a summary of the whole text. Nos va a dar una oración, la primera oración, que sería nuestra primera oración de resumen, y luego tenemos que elegir 3 de estas oraciones que complementen el resto del resumen. Okay, so the first sentence we have is, surfing is an internationally beloved sport that has its roots in the Pacific Islands, where it probably began more out of practicality than amusement. The first sentence is, the kumu fish was buried in the ceremony devoted to ancient Hawaiian board craftsmen. Is this idea a main idea? ¿Es una idea general, importante, o es solo un detalle del texto? This one, yes, no, main idea, ¿nos sirve, no nos sirve?
I think that is like something specific, but not general.
Yeah, it doesn't really, o sea, es un detalle, it doesn't do anything for the main idea, so I don't think it's this one. Next sentence, surfing was nearly non-existent by the end of the 19th century, but it experienced a revival that grew with time. Main idea or not main idea? Anyone?
I think yes.
Yeah, I agree, porque es un hecho puntual, muy like, cronológico en la historia. So, yes. Pistas para que una idea sea importante, como que si se están contando una historia en el texto, si están contando algo de forma cronológica, puntos que sean importantes en esa lista cronológica. Como que pasó esto, yeah, this is the main idea. So, sí, nos explica algo de la historia. main idea. The next one, the royal class of ancient Hawaii likely had a surfing advantage because their boards were built with optimal wood. Main idea or detail?
Maybe it's a detail.
It's a detail. Yeah, it's not really important for the whole thing. The next one, Hawaii, where surfing held deep spiritual and cultural significance in traditional society, became a central point for the sport's resurgence. Main idea or detail?
I think it's one of the main idea.
Yeah, thank you, Janet. I agree. It's also a main idea, porque es algo que se repite en muchas partes. Hemos visto en el segundo párrafo que a cada rato hablaban de la importancia espiritual y lo continúa también en otros párrafos. So I think this is a very strong idea. Next one. A small number of skilled surfers, as well as later technological and cultural shifts, brought surfing to mainstream global culture. Main idea or detail?
I think it's detailed.
This one's a detail. Why do you think so? Tal vez porque menciona cosas bien específicas, ¿no? It mentions the two guys that went to surf, but then it also mentions general ideas que se han desarrollado más. The cultural shifts, lo que se han ido a California y todo el mundo amó el surf, lo de la música surf, no menciona todas estas cosas que se resumen acá, cultural shifts. And ya, si bien menciona algo bien específico y puntual, eso de los dos surfers, creo que la idea general de toda esta oración sí es un punto importante de todo el texto. Pero por si acaso veremos el último, porque como solo podemos elegir 3, ya tenemos 2, uno de estos tiene que ser. Western missionaries were the biggest factor in surfing's great decline because they believed it was a wasteful activity. What do you guys think? Main idea or not main idea? ¿O es un detalle? I think it's a little tough between these two because they're both important details. Pero, no, es decir, esto te dice por qué dejó de existir un tiempo. Pero como estamos yendo en orden cronológico de ideas, esto introduce, luego nos dice que no existía, luego ya nos dice cómo ha resurgido, o bueno, que era importante, y luego nos va a decir cómo va a resurgir. So I'm gonna go with this one, because it's also a very general idea, it's a strong idea, and si esto estuviera más aquí arriba, tal vez lo escogería, pero está aquí abajo, así que no tiene sentido ponerlo ahí. We're gonna go with that one. And yes, those were the 3 sentences that had the main ideas for the summary. Any questions about that one? Sobre esta pregunta, sobre por qué eran esas opciones o si podía haberse hecho de otra forma. Questions, comments? No.
I think that the 2 last options were a little bit confused, but the tip that you gave to us, the chronology way, it's very helpful to see what is the correct one.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Melissa. Yeah, si esto hubiera estado aquí arriba, de verdad hubiera funcionado, but here, no. So, igual es clave fijarse eso. And I think that was the last question. Yeah, that was the last question. Yeah. So now I'm going to share, before you leave, bueno, final de la clase, any comments, questions in general? No. Okay, so I'm gonna share una encuesta, la llenan porfa y con eso acabamos la clase. Y la llenan y pueden irse. Así que ya de igual me estaré despidiendo de todos ustedes. Bye guys.
Thank
See
you. Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye.
Miss, I have a question.
Sure, dime.
I have reading comprehension, like, o sea, a veces leo, digamos, y me cuesta captar las ideas. Entonces, no sé si tiene algún tip o algo para que se me quede, porque puedo leer, digamos, y entiendo, pero estoy ahí y es como que, pucha, las ideas se me van, digamos. Entonces, no sé si tiene algún tip para que pueda como que mejorar, porque estuve leyendo, digamos, para como que tener este hábito, ¿no? Y ver, pero me cuesta un montón, entonces no sé si tiene algún tip o algo así.
I have the same problem. No sé si te pasa similar que a mí, pero me pasa que leo bastante rápido y mi cerebro como que resume ideas. Y eso es
Sí,
peligroso en estos exámenes porque te pide detalles. No te va a molestar con preguntas bien precisas. So, mi tip así muy preciso para estos exámenes es cuando veas cosas de fechas, cosas de datos, cosas de países, nombres, esas cosas, muy proper names, digamos, leas otra vez la oración porque no tu cerebro generaliza información, pero fechas, nombres, datos, probablemente te van a preguntar. Así que mejor volver con más calma y leer esa información lentita.
Definitivamente. Sí,
Yes.
me pasa lo mismo. Ok, I will try it. Thanks,
Sí.
Miss.
Sí. Eso, everyone. Ya
Bye.
entró. Bye, Meli. See you.
Bye. Thank you.
Teacher,
¿Ya?
yo tengo una pregunta casi similar como, pero ya me resolvió eso porque yo era como que leo, puedo entender, pero no retengo esa información. O sea, solo ese momento, pero voy a hacer lo que le dijo. Otra cosa era, en el tema del listening, el listening yo lo tengo muy básico,
Ujú.
muy básico. Entonces, no sé si podría darme algunos tips o algo, cómo voy practicando, además de estas clases, cómo voy fortaleciendo eso.
En general es cosa de sumergirte en el idioma lo más que puedas. Para lectura, cambie todas tus redes sociales a inglés. Sigue a creadores de contenido, ¿no? De cualquier cosa que te guste, músicos, canales de maquillaje o de comedia o de cocina o lo que quieras, en inglés. Así lo vas escuchando y todo lo que ves en inglés. Pelis, cuando veas una peli, ponla en inglés. Y música, es de forma muy, muy natural, como si estuvieras viviendo en un país anglohablante, todo lo que te llegue es en inglés, ¿no? Entonces, haz que aquí todo lo que te llegue sea en inglés. Y eso ayuda.
Ya, sí, porque no, es como que cuando escucho a alguien hablar en inglés, es como que me tomo mi tiempo para pensar en qué ha dicho, luego estoy traduciendo y ya se fue un
Sí,
montón de tiempo en eso.
realmente ayuda, creadores de contenido, que es lo mejor, ¿no? Creo que ahora todos estamos como que viendo Netflix o viendo lo que sea en el celu. Entonces, cuando estés viendo cualquier cosita, preferiblemente que sea en inglés.
Ya. Ok,
Yes.
listo.
Okay.
Sí,
Bye.
adiós.
Ahora sí. Ti, 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 ti. Yeah. And pulling and